Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
We're doing it live.
Fuck it.
Yeah, he gets it. Fuck it.
Fuck it. Tonight on Somewhere Down History Road, we're going to be talking about the Cambodian dictator Pol Pot and the Khmer Rouge. I'm Jackson.
Salath Sar. I'm D.
That's
DJ.
There you go.
And the Wombat?
It took him a second.
Little lag, but you're good.
Okay. Before we get really super into it, we have to do our little plugins. 250 subscribers shirt giveaway. Promo that bad boy. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. So
There's
good.
your new zoom in skill. Figure that out.
Yep. TJ, you got one coming in the mail because you were a previous guest. Shout out to our Warhammer Imperial Guard episode. And
That was a lot of fun.
Yes, it was. Thank you for being on it.
250 holiday special.
No, that's. Oh, you're doing a holiday special at 250? Neat.
I'm talking about the porn up then.
Like, comment, share, subscribe. Do that all that nonsense. All right. Pol Pot, also referred to as
I just had it.
Salute Tsar.
Salute Saros. Did I say Salath?
I don't know. We're gonna mess up a lot of names, so if there's anybody in here who actually knows how to pronounce this shit, I am so sorry. But we're trying.
So is this like our yearly dictator thing now?
I think we could have Dictcember.
I thought we were doing holiday movies for December.
We could have Dictcember.
Oh,
There's enough dictators.
I was kind of hoping we didn't.
Well, except for, of course, Christmas Day. Then we have to do a Christmas movie.
Woohoo.
Yep.
You know, there's another Christmas Story movie.
Yes, I believe it.
Yeah.
Salute Tsar Pol Pot, born in Cambodia to some people. They were,
Cambodia.
yes, French Cambodia. He was born in 1925.
And there's a reason you have to kind of specify that too.
That is true. We will come across this in the fact that in the 1800s, French kind of came in and was like, hey, you guys have stuff and we want it. Christian minister. Yeah, they did a colonialism. Correct? Am I correct in that statement?
Oh, yeah.
They pulled a no flag, my place.
Hey.
Shout out to Eddie Izzard. Thank you. Good joke.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Yep. But there was Christian monasteries, and the Christian monasteries were getting attacked, and they were like, French back us, and then they were like, I see no problems with this. This is ours now.
Real quick, sorry, once again, another sidetrack real quick, sorry. Before I start smoking, shout out to Joe, Top-Notch Signatures. This is something new, I'm assuming, called permanent marker rosin. And apparently he said that some friend of his, and him are the only people who can handle this shit. So let's see how that goes.
It's allegedly pretty fun.
I already took a small hit to try it before yet.
I got some not sponsored fools.
Not sponsored Arizona, you know the drill.
Yep.
Not sponsored.
Joe, we just like you. You get a free pass.
Yeah, that doesn't seem it's a sponsorship.
No, we just love him. He's a good guy.
You know, he's on our
Cool friend of the show. CBD, plug him a lot, all sorts of fun stuff. Check him out.
He's on Instagram, Top-Notch Signatures. I think he has another one too there on Instagram. I don't remember the name of it. Top-Notch something or another. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, Joe, hit us up for another episode or something.
All
right, sorry, back to Cambodia.
Pol Pot. So, born in 1925 to, honestly, relatively wealthy farmers. They had 9 hectares. That's a lot of hectares.
A hectare is 10 acres, I think.
The heck of a tear.
That is a heck of a tear.
Because an acre is... No, it would be...
Many land. They owned many land. We'll save that.
Hectare, then?
Lots rice. Much rice.
Yes.
Which is arguably probably the biggest staple of food in Asia in general. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Southeast Asia. Likes rice. Who'd have guessed?
There's also China, Japan, Korea, Asia.
Yep.
Anyway.
But Cambodia and Vietnam, they were always a little bit against each other a little bit, just to kind of fuck around with the timelines. French was like, hey, we own this now. French Cambodia.
If you look at a map, they're next to each other.
Yep, them and Laos.
Yep.
And Thailand. And China. Things get dicey there.
Yeah. So let's see. World War II, he was growing up, going to school, and he was not good at his academics. He preferred sports.
Well, that's true, but we have to talk about the fact that he went. His mother was part of a Buddhist priesthood, and so he actually
nunhood then if she.
Nah. So she actually had him enroll for a little while in like Buddhist monkisms.
A temple, yeah.
Yeah. He was the 8th of 9.
Big family.
Yes, big family. Not much to do there besides farm and fuck. The two aspects.
Racist, but okay.
Well, I mean, it's the 1925s. The Great Depression was going on. French owned their ass. Like, they still had a king. What else would they... What else would you do?
Not a lot.
Food? Sure. Fornicate? Sure. Farm? Sure. Like, come on.
Yeah, it sounds about right, given the time, especially in that particular climate.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be, just too bad. So he did that, and then turns out they actually were loosely connected to royalty somehow.
Yeah.
So he got pumped on over to France to go study there for academia. He got picked up on a scholarship for radio.
This was just after World War II, by the way.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. He was, I think, technically still in Cambodia during World War II. It got taken over by Japan.
Yeah,
More
parts of
house
it.
to the French.
No, France was still definitely around. Parts of it, like the southern part and closer to Vietnam, like there was definitely major parts, but the northeast section of Cambodia was still largely French.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Vietnam, which we will have to talk many about Vietnam.
Yeah.
God,
We'll get to
what
that.
the fuck does this have to do with Vietnam, Walter?
Really tie the whole room together.
You're out of your element, Tommy.
VA Lenin.
So this being following World War II, there was still a lot of Soviet influence and communist China influence in that sphere.
Well, yes and no, because he went to France to study, and Marxism was not exactly accepted in France because they were so democratic. So he ended up doing a lot of like secret studying of Marxism. He wasn't. Later on, it was noted that he didn't exactly like get the teachings of Marx. He kind of just like was there and was like, "Hey, good, bad, good, bad, okay."
When the hell did Karl Marx die?
Karl Marx, he died in the 1900s, I think.
1883.
That's what I said.
Yeah, it was like Marx was 1818 to like 1883, somewhere in that range, and had a whole lot of political philosophies that he wrote about, and a lot of people took it to heart. So that definitely set the stage.
To quote,
Sorry, cop just drove by.
to quote a book, God created the world, and many people took offense to that.
That's good omens.
It seems like his stuff. Breathe, motherfucker.
I'm sure our listeners will fucking love that.
Oh yeah, they love every moment of this.
Yeah. So let's see.
So
He went off to France for
this study,
collegiate level stuff.
Yeah. He got accepted as radio transfer, radio satellite, something to do with radios. Relatively prestigious, honestly, when he got picked up.
I mean,
He wasn't doing very well, as we said.
I was going to say at the time, radio was still probably one of the biggest entertainment forms.
Yeah,
This
like it
was during the rise of television, just after the introduction of motion picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense that radio would still be very big.
Yeah.
And again, he wasn't exactly great on his studies. So he goes back to Cambodia as they're starting to have some conflict between Vietnam and the prince / king of Cambodia.
Mm-hmm.
And well, some stuff starts to go on. He wasn't exactly like a communist. He was more like Stalinism, and that's kind of communism. Shout out to our Joseph Stalin episode.
I completely forgot. Not only did he tutor in Buddhism for a short period, shortly after that, he ended up in a Catholic school. So he got a strange mix of the two.
Yeah. Oh, God. This was all very young. This was all very young Salusar.
Mm-hmm.
Pol Pot.
Yeah.
But he kind of just like worked as part of a communist liberation party and this and that. He was going on and off. There is some fantastic
Liberation's a bit of a oxymoronic term when it comes to communism, but okay.
there are some fantastic podcasts, and I want to shout them out.
Always with the shouting out of the podcast.
Well, I mean, there were like I got a lot of help learning about him, and I want to give him the due respect.
The most I know about Pol Pot is from a manga about nonsense.
The Dictators podcast on Spotify is where I found them. I'm sure they're on other things.
Mhm.
They got a two-parter on them, and then the Lion Leading Sheep or the Sheep Leading Lion podcast. I don't remember which one it is. They have a 4-part episode on them, and
In terms of dictators, I guess that kind of makes sense because he's not like the most infamous dictator, but
he's
got a
definitely
lot of shit going on.
he definitely isn't as well known as he should be. I mean, I was talking with some people saying, "Hey, we're going to be talking about this guy. We're going to be talking about this guy,"
Dude,
and they were like, "Who the fuck?"
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
my fucking father-in-law, who's like in his 70s, I was like, yeah, we're talking about Pol Pot. Who? The Cambodian dictator in the 70s, Pol Pot? You know, the one...
Mid to late 70s, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you want about? I'm like, you fucking lived it! You were there!
Oh God.
I mentioned who we were talking about to our father, because, again, brothers before. And he was just like, the only thing I know about Cambodia during that time is Holiday in Cambodia from the Dead Kennedys, which
Is a song about that time.
yeah, it's a great song about that time. And then again, like barely anybody knew. There was a couple people who were like actually into history who were like, okay, yeah, Pol Pot, that's why. It's just so dark.
Yeah.
So at this
He's honestly
point,
up there with like in terms of things, in terms of like almost like Stalin and Hitler levels. Just nobody.
yeah, the level of atrocities he perpetrated against his own people is massive, and the only reason we don't have more evidence of it is because it was very difficult to get cameras and news crews in there. It was pretty much all red territory at that time.
That and again, it wasn't like he didn't kill tens of millions.
That guy.
He didn't kill hundreds of millions like some people who we may have mentioned or may have alluded to in an upcoming episode. How's it on?
Dude, he had at least 6 to 10 mil,
So,
give or take.
depending on the estimate and where you go, he's anywhere from 1.5, 2 million to 10 million, depending on which references you use. And
Yep.
if you're talking about just his people or everybody, and are we including just during his time in power or as a whole?
I mean, I don't think they coined the term because of him, but I definitely know
The Cambodian genocide.
I was gonna say the killing fields.
The killing fields was definitely this guy.
Yeah, like he didn't coin that term. I think that goes back to World War I with the trenches and stuff, kind of, sort of. But
S-21.
he,
That was one of the locations.
That was one of the security prisons where they transferred political prisoners, tortured people, killed people. It was estimated there were around 20,000 people who went through, and only 7 or 8 people made it out alive.
Depending on the time of day.
Yeah.
But he is so like unknown by people, and it's kind of a shame.
I mean,
Mostly for the fact of like I think that we learn a lot from history, and we can see what happens with certain things from history.
wait, is he
Yep.
the one with the glasses thing, or am I thinking of somebody else?
No, he would never have worn glasses because glasses were a class thing. And
yeah,
in
but what
his,
thought about? Didn't he go out of his way to kill people with glasses specifically because he thought of that or something like that? Or am I thinking of the Mao?
the Khmer Rouge owned
Yes.
Cambodia was very much a classist system. If you were believed to have contacts with anyone who had money or you had anything that spoke of money, odds are they were going to drag you off and shoot you or torture you or hit you with a pickaxe until you were dead.
Ironically, coming from him, who came from a relatively wealthy family.
Correct.
It's almost like bad people like to project their problems.
No. So, in terms of, again, sheer numbers, he's not the most prolific. There is worse. In terms of percentile of killing his own population, he's among probably the top 5
1/4 by most estimates.
of just his own population, which is nuts.
I mean,
But we should get back to the history of him and not just glorifying him. Because,
are we really glorifying him besides just saying it's fucked?
well, I mean, there's the whole argument of like giving people attention that shouldn't get attention, which, again, I think, in terms of certain things need to be learned from.
Yeah.
The whole rhetoric that is currently ongoing with like, oh, well, school shooting.
I mean, yeah,
Okay.
there's a difference between a guy who, took over a country and massacred millions of people versus some random nutjob who took out 20 people. One of them is this historical event. The other one is a just fucked up statistic.
So if we jump back to the timeline, the situation was that he went off for collegiate crap and he got in with a bunch of different protest groups that were almost all Cambodia led.
Yeah, they were predominantly Cambodian, and they were talking about Marxism, Leninism, Stalinism, all different like communist beliefs, and how it's better for people this way, all sorts of things. Now he goes back again. Vietnam and Cambodia, they have a long troubled past.
Yep.
Very long troubled past.
This was the point at which most of Cambodia was beginning to factionize and split into different political groups, and they were warring amongst themselves.
Yes and no. Predominantly, again, France ruled Cambodia, and they had a king, a monarch. It was mostly a figurehead, but like still a person. They were still viewed as almost godlike.
Yeah, it was kind of
The Emperor,
puppet government stuff.
except at the time, the Emperor of Japan actually did have power, but that's a different story.
And so, because of this,
Shout out to our samurai episode.
he comes back. He starts to faction off into like the CPK and the CLP and this and that. He goes into different groups. He ends up being kind of guerrilla, kind of against the monarchy.
Now, did he join or
Now,
start the Khmer Rouge? I'm trying to remember.
he more or less started it.
Okay.
Him and Sihanouk, who was king at this time.
Which, by the way, real quick, Khmer Rouge, great fucking name.
It is a solid name.
Translation is Red Cambodians.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they would refer to themselves as Khmer Heights or something like that. They would refer to themselves as something Khmer because it wasn't Cambodia, right?
Yeah.
And
I guess I kind of
So-
with Red Cambodia's communism at the time was the red.
well, it wasn't just that. There was other things, kind of like a bloodbath. And as stated, Vietnam, Cambodia, a lot of tension. They are always, Laos was around, Thailand was around, but it was predominantly. But this is post World War II we're talking about.
This would have been 50s.
Go ahead.
This would have been 50s, maybe early 60s. We're talking pre-Vietnam.
So he came back to Cambodia in 1954.
Right.
Which again, this is a lot of shit going on during that time, post World War II. Which, if you were in
The Big Red Scare here in America.
if you were pretty much anywhere in Asia during World War II, you were getting your shit stomped in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mao was coming to power. Stalin was a person. Like Gorbachev took over. It was
An interesting point when it comes to Mao. A lot of the inspiration that Pol Pot took was from Mao, but the problem was,
forward.
Yeah, that's exactly. He tried to do that in his own country, and that's part of what led to all the bad stuff. But there's actually an account where he. What?
We'll talk about it.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
There's actually an account where somebody asked him about the writings of Marx, and he said that he didn't completely understand entirely, so it wouldn't be a strict.
I said that.
You said that?
I said that.
He said that earlier. He just kind of like said it in passing, citing it, but yeah.
Oh, my bad.
No, you
No,
good.
it's cool. You can keep going.
Yeah, man. Do your thing.
Yeah.
He's been talking.
So Mao attempted his great leap forward, which was industrialization and farming, and that failed catastrophically. But
No.
Pol Pot attempted to do the same thing in Cambodia, and that is how things went south really quickly.
He actually hold on. He actually attempted kind of the reverse of what Stalin did. Stalin wanted to industrialize Russia in order to make it a power. Mao wanted to focus on agriculture and still kind of upgrade everything, kind of industrialize them. Whereas Pol Pot's idea was more along the lines of bring everybody backwards so this way we can go forwards.
Agrarianism, yeah.
So kind of.
So he tried to kind of reset shit, is what you're saying.
Yes, so part of his plan was he wanted to be able to produce X amount of rice a year, so this way they would be able to produce X amount of babies and be able to industrialize between the babies and the rice, get enough people, get enough power, produce enough force in order to actually industrialize that way. But in order to do it, we needed to tear everybody back to a baseline level playing field because there were peasants and then there were the people in the cities, and they were the people in the cities under Pol Pot were slaves. Not that peasantry was much better, but they were not even people.
So he took all those hoity-toity Wall Street people and threw them in the field.
If they made it,
More or less, but only if they survive.
that's what I mean.
That's actually based. Almost. Kinda.
But
Not saying that people shouldn't, learn some physical labor in their lives, but people should learn some fucking physical labor in their lives.
we need to talk about Vietnam and Cambodia warring. That happened a lot. French ended up backing out of pretty much most of Vietnam and Cambodia power and being like,
Yep.
You guys can handle it. They still had a little bit of backing for the ruler because they were like,
Germany and Japan fucked our shit.
they still had a little bit of backing for Cambodia because they were like, we like it a little bit better. So they kind of let Vietnam do their own thing mostly. And during this time, again, a lot of wars, a lot of this. The Vietnam War happens before Pol Pot actually gets any sort of power. But Sihanouk, there's a big uprising for democratic elected officials. Like there's a big uprising for it. You good?
Good shit.
And they're kind of like, yo, what's going on? I want some democracy.
Yeah.
So Sihanouk actually takes a radical idea and he steps down to run. He stepped down from king and it's like, I'm just a prince now, but I'm going to run against him. And he had an overwhelming support because he took that step down. And then he kind of elected himself president for life. So
he pulled a reverse Napoleon?
no, you. And
I like that, a reverse Napoleon.
And so because of that, there was, again, a lot of good, evil. Pol Pot saw Sihanouk as an enemy because it was France. He was very much, this royal, this noble, and that's bad, we know that. So eventually, America ends up getting involved with Cambodia and Vietnam. They end up trying to back someone called Lon Nol, who ends up Lonnol. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. Lon Nol. And Lon Nol? Lon Nol. I don't know.
Sorry again.
This happens in 1970, I believe. And so, because of this, America was heavily for Lon Nol.
Fuck yeah.
And the Cambodian people were like, well, we're getting bombed by America. We're getting attacked by Vietnam, also known as Vietmen, who Pol Pot was siding with to go against Sihanouk a lot of the time. And then Lon Nol ends up getting most of the power. Sihanouk ends up partnering up with Pol Pot under a acronym that I can't pronounce. It's like the Federation under New Colombia or something like that. I have Cambodia. I have no idea. I just know that it ends up being a funny acronym by the name of FUNK.
Yep.
They have the FUNK.
Ready have the funk.
We got
the funk.
Yeah.
So Pol Pot, Sihanouk, they end up going against Lon Nol. They try and fight guerrilla style against Lon Nol, along with the Vietnam now, who again were opposed to Sihanouk.
Yeah.
And Pol Pot and the Vietnam were against Sihanouk, so they all kind of like temporary truce, enemy of my enemy. Eventually, Pol Pot ends
up with bad guys having drip.
Oh, you're talking about the Black Rose with the scars and the hat?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Pol Pot ended up turning it into Khmer Rouge, and
by that point, they owned all of like northern and eastern Cambodia. They just owned it.
Yeah, pretty much anybody that was a peasant or a farmer, they were like huge guys for Pol Pot to just be like, come on, bro, come on. And it almost ended up cult like, hey, Nazis. They all had to wear the same thing, so this way they'd all be on the same level. There was political parties. There was a lot of like under Lon Nol, he had a lot of bad happen to him where America was getting funding based off the amount of troops that he had, so people were fudging the numbers, and he eventually just kind of like lost power. Sihanouk realized that he didn't have any of the support. He just had a couple of the main cities support because he was the previous king, he was the previous president.
Yeah.
I think they called it state ahead.
El Presidente.
But Pol Pot kind of just was like,
wait, no,
nope, mine.
Le Presidente.
Yeah, he was like, nope, mine. I'm bigger than you. Because Khmer Rouge was again like just this giant cult that all of the farmers effectively like. Yeah, they're bad. I don't like them.
You could tell it was a cult of personality. That's all.
So,
hey, we haven't even gotten into a holiday in Cambodia yet.
Yeah. Khmer Rouge under Pol Pot, before he gets elected, basically ends up getting all of the cities other than Phnom Penh. I can't pronounce that.
Square?
The capital, I believe.
It's something Pen. It starts with a P. Can somebody fact check for me real quick? Pretty sure it's Pen. I don't know. But
you mean Phnom Penh?
Phnom Penh. Yeah,
I think it'd be the PH would be like a first sound. Nom. Fen. P.
Phnom Penh.
Phnom Penh.
PHNOMPENH. Gotcha.
Big city where the palace is.
Big city, big palace ends up being one of the most devastating secret prisons. S21.
No, S21 was actually a school prior.
Yes, but that was located in.
It was on the palace grounds.
Yes.
It
wasn't on palace grounds. That was the city that it was around, Phnom Penh.
Oh, my bad.
We forgot to mention very briefly. Pol Pot was actually a teacher.
Yeah.
He got a teaching degree while he was in Cambodia, certificate while he was in Cambodia, not a payoff. And teaching history and like French and a couple other things in Phnom Penh under King Sihanouk. He was definitely playing both sides of the field.
Holy shit.
So,
There's
Yeah.
two separate Wikipedia articles: crimes against humanity under communist regimes and mass killings under communist regimes.
Yeah, the Cambodian genocide. We'll get to that.
It's a link when you go to Killing Fields in Wikipedia.
Yeah.
So
Wikipedia articles.
Vietnam's over. By this point, it would be right around 1971 to 74. I'm not certain of the year, but this is when the Khmer Rouge owns probably about half of the country, and they're beginning to push to the southwest with the support of North Vietnam.
Yeah.
4/20/1975.
Now, mind
They
you,
took over, established a new government, more or less.
Pol Pot had met with Mao at this time.
Mhm.
And one of the quotes from Mao was like, "This guy's a fucking idiot." Equivalency. And he actually was like, "Hey, I can see what you're doing. Stalin and I have tried this. Please be careful with how you do this. You don't want to approach it the way that we did. You're being a little heavy-handed with your punishment. Please calm down." Mao said something equivalent to this.
Holy
Yeah.
Mao. Over 100 fucking million people have died under Mao. Over 100 million. Statistically, again, more or less hard to get real figures.
Yeah.
The highest record is over 100, and we're going with the highest recorded for the highest potential
It
for.
was like all communism so far across history was 100 mil by
No, it's 100. It's 100 just from Mao. For God's
Yeah.
sake, Stalin had like 30 mil.
Yeah.
Those are amateur numbers. You gotta pump them up.
And Pol Pot, if we're going based off of high estimates, has 10 mil. Like, it's we got into a little bit of a debate with communism with the Stalin episode. Watch that if you want. Stuff happens. We'll talk about Mao at some point. Stuff happens.
Yeah. So
He meets with, again, he comes back, he meets with Mao, and him and Sihanouk are fighting against Lon Nol.
Mhm.
US is backing Lon Nol.
Yep.
Man is kind of helping them, but kind of not, because they just want Cambodia. Territory is territory, take it how you get it.
Yeah.
And so
That's why I'm annexing my daughter's school.
so
Family Guy reference.
again, America is bombing parts of Cambodia because of the war with Vietnam.
well,
Yes,
70 to 74, that would have been all over and done with. The U.S. dipped out.
no, there were still bombs going on. It wasn't.
Actually, that wouldn't surprise me.
So when U.S. says we leave a place, we're still bombing them a few years after.
So I want to put on
Mission
record.
accomplished.
I want to say that Vietnam/Cambodia parts of the border ended up receiving, including the atomic bomb, more bombings and more devastation than Japan did during World War II, including Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the atomic bombs. They ended up getting fucked worse.
You almost
Yep.
get out of Korea too.
Not saying that, anybody was in the right here. Very clearly, war crimes are war crimes.
Yeah.
Take them how you want it. Whether it's enlisting children as soldiers,
Thank you.
Which Pol Pot did.
he didn't just enlist them, he forced them.
Yep.
But neither here nor there. That's the 70s. We're long past that. Nothing like that has ever happened since.
Well, anyway, so
Pol Pot ends up tricking most of the people in Phnom Penh that America's going to bomb the capital,
yeah.
and basically forces everybody out, and then he just takes over. So now
Mhm.
he more or less just rules all of
It's not a bad trick.
Cambodia. No, especially during the time when, again, there was actual bombings from America still.
Yeah.
Whether we said the war was over or not. But,
So at that point, Pol Pot took the seat of power in the capital and basically closed all borders. He went full xenophobe and classist, murking anybody who wasn't lower class, effectively. And then
he just wanted basically the peasants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of. Interesting. But you were saying, go ahead.
And hell, where was I going with this? He closed the border, and that's when he started the program to try to quadruple the rice output for Cambodia by forcing people into these basically labor camps.
Yes. Again, he was trying to up the numbers so this way they could raise population and raise the GDP effectively in order to become strong enough to do a good industrialization. Did it work? No, not really.
What is going on out there?
There was, I'm sure people know about, a little bit of fascism, how there's secret police that would go around, different accusations, things like that, right?
A little bit of fascism.
Yeah, a lot of that.
You speak out against the government, you speak out this, if you jerk off, if you commit adultery, you're going to prison. And now, mind you, prison is effectively a death sentence.
Mm-hmm.
So all the political leaders from before, all the business owners from before, they got pulled off on the side as they were getting marched from where they were located to new fields. They were getting split up by families. They were like, hey, we're going to, re-educate you.
Reading education.
Most of the time, honestly, apparently it was pickaxes to the head.
That was to save bullets, primarily.
Back then.
Reading education.
Yeah.
Shout out to our medical episode.
Yep. Mass graves, working to the point of starvation. Most of the fields just kind of died out. A big problem was that a lot of the pack animals had been used during the Vietnam War and were either dead or just missing. So they didn't have the necessary farm animals to completely redo everything.
That, and you're taking people that have never done this in their life and just being like, ha-ha! And then there was, again, the classism of, well, the peasants are now effectively on top of us. Why would we work for this? And the peasants would have some resilient hate towards, the previous bad guys, and they would be like, ha-ha, you're a dick. So eventually it got so bad with people ratting on each other for any little thing that they implemented a 3-strike rule. You had to be accused 3 times before you were actually taken anywhere. Because they would just, in order to protect their own shit. Well, I wasn't.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
I wasn't this. It was this guy. Well, this guy stole from me as a response. Well, I only did it because of this guy, and they had to wait for 3 people.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, and a massive number of people from outside the country, regardless of what other country they had originally come from, were accused aggressively of being CIA agents, tortured and murdered.
Yeah, there was a good couple hundred secret prisons that, again, like 20,000 people a year-ish over time, depending on which one. Like, kind of like how there was like Dachau and then Auschwitz and then like the lesser-known concentration camps. But like those were the big ones. So there was big ones like S-21.
Yeah.
In Phnom Penh. That's a huge one. That one, as stated, had like 20,000 people and like 7 survived. It's nuts. Eventually, people start to realize, oh yeah, this dude, Pol Pot, who was kind of unknown because he went by the alias Pol Pot instead of
Slothsar,
his actual name. So people kind of didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
Until he actually took it to the seat of power. They're like, who the fuck is this guy? When he took power, he ended up going again to China, to the guy who...
Sorry.
the guy who succeeded Mao, he might have been an advisor of Mao. He was
Yeah,
very
he was a lower level guy. He wasn't a prolific, but yeah.
he was very ill, and he was like, "What the fuck are you doing, man?" Like, so he ends up having power until 1979 because obviously enough turmoil, enough people dying, you end up. How do I put this? Yeah. People end up getting a little annoyed at you. Took some outside force, took some inside force, and they eventually ousted him. That's what she said.
So from the research that I did, what I heard was that there were multiple various communist groups of varying philosophies, and one of them captured him at the ripe old age of like 69, 70, somewhere in there. And
So
then
that
he
happened in the 90s.
Say again now?
That happened in the 90s. In 1979, he was going to be overthrown, and he knew it. So he actually retreated back to the forest as like guerrilla warfare shit.
That was it.
And he was still going against like Sihanouk and the people who succeeded him because he wanted his Khmer Rouge to continue to be the Khmer Rouge. So he died in 96, I think? 99?
98.
98.
Heart attack in his sleep.
Yeah, he was put under house arrest by said Communist Party. Again, there's a lot of them. There was a lot of all sorts of fucking asinine shit. I don't think we can really overstate just how bad this was. Nobody knew it. Nobody knew it. I mean, people knew it, but like nobody nowadays knows about the Cambodian genocide unless they were actively political at the time.
Yeah. And on top of that, even now, people still turn up bones in the fields from mass graves. So it's huge. And then there's at least 2 or 3 photos online of commemorative sites where there's at easily 30,000 skulls just stacked up in a pyramid.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the S-21, the school that was used in Penman Square, I'm pretty sure there's 5,000 skeletons just in there.
Yeah, it looks like a crypt. Like they separated the bones by size and put them in different rooms. It's bonkers.
Wait, have you seen this?
Well, you can
Photos
take
of it.
virtual tours and see photos of it because it's insane. This guy murdered millions of people. Well, not him specifically. I'm sure he did a fair number of murdering. But
yeah,
he just had so much going wrong. Mao told him, no, don't do this effectively. That was somebody who had, again, 100-ish million people on different estimates died due to the Great Leap Forward, which he was trying to emulate.
Yeah.
Stalin, had fucking millions of people.
What the shit?
What's up? You're looking it up?
No, I'm looking up. Motherfuckers are still
Yeah, the Khmer Rouge is still around.
The cult of personality around this guy's grave and shit. People go through people sifting through his ashes to make talismans out of bone chunks and pray at his grave and fucking leave pig head offerings and music and shit.
Fun fact about Lon Nol, when he knew that he was going to...
Jesus fuck. People say they dream about him and get their malaria cured or win the lottery.
That is something that we have to touch upon. But I'm gonna talk about something first. So Lon Nol, when he was losing the war against Pol Pot, effectively, he decided to get some magic sand.
Magic sand, huh?
You draw a circle in the sand, and the sea bears can't get you. So he decided to get some magic sand and put it around the temple because they couldn't be attacked that way, As you do. He went to Stalin's Rasputin. No, it was actually somebody from the Middle East, I think. But
Go on about the cocaine or magic sand.
But part of the
Wait, have you ever seen Renfield? Yeah, never mind. Good movie.
part of the inspiration for Nightmare on Elm Street actually comes from a journal of a kid talking about how he was afraid to go to sleep because he thought that he would never wake up. So Pol Pot is loosely inspiration for Nightmare on Elm Street. Freddy Krueger, one of the most infamous horror villains of all time.
Okay.
Yeah, they were talking about how they were afraid to go to sleep, they wouldn't wake up, the Batman would get them while they were asleep, shit like that. It's nuts so. The impact that he had, and nobody, some people, really know. Again, I don't think we're doing a fair justice just to.
Yeah, this is kind of the
Awesome.
layman's terms walkthrough, but it was real rough and very complicated.
As stated, Holiday in Cambodia from Dead Kennedys. That came out in 1979. Well, Pol Pot was still in power, I think.
Yes.
It might have been
Yep.
a little after him.
No, he lost. We're not about 1979, as you said.
Yeah, he came. So it was released in 79. I'm saying it might have been as he was like losing power or as he had lost power. They might have released it and came up with it. I don't know exactly. But it's talking about how like bad it was there. And it's such an upbeat song. It's relatively
A punk rock song. All punk rock songs are relatively upbeat tempo.
this dude, man.
Maybe one punk rock song that isn't Green Day that's in a downbeat tempo.
Challenge accepted. We'll figure out one by the end of the episode. Do you have anything that you want to say more, TJ, about this?
We covered the Spark Notes version of it, but if you actually go and find the documents yourself and do the research, there's so much that we didn't talk about that I can't remember right now.
Well, we're not done just yet. We're not even at an hour.
That's fair.
It's just I don't understand where his philosophy was even going with this. He was very much like a Stalinism, Maoism, not a Marxism, which if you listen to our Stalin episode, you'll understand that there are differences. Hell, even the difference with Leninism.
Yeah.
Okay, apparently there is a style punk called D-beat. That is a type of downbeat punk rock.
Thank you.
He's
stumbling.
You said, "Oh, we'll figure one out by the end of it."
I did say that we'll figure one out by the end of the episode. Thank you for figuring out an entire genre, not just a singular song.
It was like you're like, "Oh, it's an up." I'm like, well, whatever.
Ooh.
Would you say he is
Disc crust or crust beat? It's also known as disccore, kang punk, disc crust, and crust beat. The style of hardcore developed in the 80s by imitators of Discharge.
I have no idea why, but my brain just went to tell me. Would you say that he has a plethora of pinatas?
Discharge may themselves have inherited the beat from Motorhead and Buzzcocks.
Okay.
It's also closely associated with crust punk, which is a heavier, more complex variation.
Rust punk. Mm.
Crust punk people. Check out our metal episode and our rock and roll episode and find out more.
Fucking heavy Saurus.
They're Swedish. They're kids. It's different. It's fine.
It's a metal, like a hardcore metal group, and they're done by like animatronic heavy metal dinosaurs, and they do.
It's meant to be for kids.
Like they're technically like educational songs and shit too.
Yeah,
Like, it's fucking hardcore metal.
yeah. They are Sweden's Bluey.
That's awesome.
I don't know if I can actually say that.
Wow.
They're actually pretty good too. The singer's a little weird sounding, but he's Swedish, so whatever. We
just don't get it. It's too advanced for us.
I kind of really hope that if I go and look them up again, there's going to be at least English translations for the lyrics somewhere, because I really want to know what the fuck they're saying. Anyway.
Okay. So,
fucking dictator, man.
Yeah, I was about to digress back to Pol Pot. One of the reasons I think things got so horrible was because Pol Pot happened to have a paranoia streak. Like, the guy happened to be slightly paranoid, so that probably trickled down quite a bit.
No, he didn't believe in any of that stuff. There was no such thing as paranoia. There was no secret plotting. There wasn't active attempts against his life. There wasn't a aide that he had that tried his food and died. That happened.
I mean, we did do over like 200 attempts on fucking.
Fidel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some Looney Tunes shit too.
Like The Men Who Stare Goes. Good movie.
Oh yeah, good movie. We gave him an exploding cigar.
Factual statement.
We tried to make him lose his beard at one point.
Factual statement, because they thought that they wouldn't respect the man without a beard.
I think they tried to get him on scuba diving, but he actually didn't ever scuba dive or some shit, so that was kind of pointless.
Yep.
Yeah, we tried some Looney Tunes shit with him.
Almost as much as with Pol. But we also kind of...
Looney Tunes shit for dictators. It's fucking weird.
We also kind of... So, Pol Pot was backed by China and France for a little bit, and not really, and Vietnam for a little bit, and then he was very much an enemy against those guys.
Yes.
He was an idiot. I'm just gonna say it. He was a total fucking shit show.
Yep.
It's just
and then the whole reason I bring up him not being as much of an academic in school, the reason why he continued to slip through the cracks was because of his privileged birth, because of where he came from. It was a wealthy landowner who had influence in the region, so he just kind of got overlooked. They said, it doesn't matter if he can't do math. It just push him through.
Multiple tests. He was allowed to take multiple tests.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he ends up hating on these people.
Yeah, I think hating on and killing 2.2 million people out of the 8 million in the country at the time. I think that's a little bit different, but yeah.
No. Exact same. Hating on. He's just a hater. They're jealous. They're jealous of his Super Saiyan Swagger.
Oh God, no.
Just jealous of my Super Saiyan Swagger.
Would you say that he's worthy of being in the top 20 worst dictators of all time?
Yeah. I mean, he's not going to top the charts in the top 5, but he'd probably make it into the top 20 easily.
What about top 10?
Oh, I don't know about that. That's starting to get a little crowded because obviously at the top of the bracket are like Hitler, Stalin, Mao.
Hitler wasn't a dictator. He was, Mao wasn't a dictator.
No, totally reasonable people with good intentions.
They were elected officials. Napoleon.
Oh yeah. I mean,
motherfucker demanded more ransom. It's like, this isn't good enough.
Wait, are you sure you don't think it's Caesar there?
No, Napoleon did it too.
Yeah, if you want to push it even farther back in time, you could say Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan.
Genghis was a man. He set climate change back for us. We need more Genghis Khan.
Oh my God.
Also, I think isn't like 1/4 of Asian society like kind of related to him too?
Very distantly, yeah.
Because he just had so many fucking.
Please don't clip me saying we need more Genghis Khans. I'm the guy that does the clips.
I'm a misanthrope. You can totally.
All right, Bill Gates. Jesus.
What? I'm a misanthrope. We totally need more Genghis Khans. Good song too. No,
we totally need more Genghis Khans.
No.
What is the BG?
No, it was a band. It was a disco band from like Germany called Genghis Khan.
Oh my God, I wasn't that far off. I said the Bee Gees, but you said disco band, and I was like,
Moscow,
Moscow. You ever heard that song before? It was a good song.
It's a song.
Oh yeah.
There used to be a pretty funny version of it, where the somebody did like a kind of like phonetically English translated the lyrics as subtitles.
Yeah, it was weird.
You're sucking dick. Hey, look at that lady.
Yeah, it was weird.
Oh my goodness.
I think by
Wait,
modern
you ever
times
seen
he
this
has
song?
to be in the
Look at song
South.
when you get the chance if you haven't seen it.
I think by modern times, by that I mean 20th century past, because we just made so much more implements of mass destruction. I would say that he has to be in probably the top 10.
Okay, all right. I guess I could see it, but he wouldn't make it past 8. He'd be like 8, 9, or 10. That would be it.
Yeah.
Who do you have above him?
Well,
I just listed like 5 or 6. So
Mao,
Who'd you say? What was the first one?
Genghis Khan.
No. We said 20th century and above.
Oh,
So then-
if we just stick to that, then never fucking mind. You got like Mao.
yeah.
Hitler,
Mao, Stalin, Hitler are three big ones.
Mussolini.
Mussolini is number
Yep.
4. You could argue Fidel, Saddam, maybe.
Hirohito.
So,
Hirohito. Was he the emperor or was he the general?
America.
Yeah.
Pick a president.
Yeah.
I love this country. I served for this country. We've done some fucked up shit.
Very much so.
We had an imperialistic streak for a while. We did.
I just want to apologize on the sake of America.
I'm not a crook.
We are very literally the reason why Japan became so fucked up, then became unfucked up, and now are just kind of themselves.
Yep.
Didn't we not implement, but didn't we like start their whole trend of censoring private parts?
Yeah, they didn't implement it they kind of did it like not like partially because of us, but partially not. It's kind of weird. But yeah,
Thanks, America. We're the reason that our hentai is censored.
And technically, they got rid of that. You could do uncensored porn now in Japan.
Yeah, but they don't do that.
And I think I mentioned it somewhere. When you buy one of their DVDs, if it's censored, they'll give you a special website links with DVDs to get censored version online.
It's funny that
episode or a samurai episode. Shout out to both of them.
it's funny that you listed 3 dictators and almost put them in order, because I was thinking, like, is this an S tier dictator or is he like a B tier? It's a tier list now.
It's almost like an A tier.
He's an A tier. If you kill 25% of your population,
Yeah,
that's how we're fucking ranking it.
that's jacked up.
I mean,
Wow.
even if that's not a lot, that's still a lot.
Percentile wise, that's a lot.
That's a lot. Percentile wise, that's actually probably puts him in top 5, if not higher.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think he's top 5, unfortunately.
Almost because if you go by percentile, not by just sheer body count, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Especially in South Park, they rank dictators in S tier, A tier, B tier.
Especially if you consider
Yeah,
one,
get it,
it was
got
only
it.
about 4-ish, it was 4 or 5 years at most, which isn't a lot. I mean, Hitler.
Well, no. Hold on. He was 100% against Sihanouk since he came back in 1954. So he started like.
I'm saying if you go purely from when he was in power, not just from when he was coming up from.
Okay, so 1969 when Lom Nol started to really kick out Sihanouk, and they had to face each other, and then they were like friends with each other. But Pol Pot had more power because he had more of the farmers. Is that what we're talking about? Or do you just mean like when he took office from 75 to 79?
That's kind of what I'm saying there. Yeah, from 75. If you just go here by 75 to 79.
That's where I think they get the 1.5 to 2 million people.
Yeah.
But if you take the whole thing as a total, yeah. But
It's like 10 million.
if you're kind of condensing all the numbers.
Yeah. All the people that he most likely bodied or was responsible for bodying, then his body count is high.
Even still, if we're just taking the 2 million, which I've seen as an estimate on the low end, lowish end, it's still a quarter of the population at the time between those years. And we're going across the fucking 30 years that he was doing this shit. You know, as a revolutionary fighting the, bourgeoisie, the proletariat. Then, for God's sakes, it's 10-ish million over 30-ish years?
Which is still
a lot.
That's a fuckload.
It's not a small number. But yeah, I can definitely see South Park for some reason doing like a dictator tier list. Just kill count. I don't know why.
I mean, there are AI channels for that shit now on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, there's whole channels where they just do, like, scaling.
We're on YouTube.
Hey, we are.
Like, comment, share, subscribe.
500 subscribers. Pornhub channel.
It was $250 for the holiday special.
It is $250 for the holiday special because I have the...
Do you know about this? Tell
No.
all of your friends. Tell all of your buddies when you get the t-shirt in.
By the way, I need to figure out a fucking name for this channel. I've been trying to come up with one. Like, what do you call it? Like, Stumbling Down Boobies or something like that? Or
I think eventually we're just going to go down to Stumbling Down Productions. And this will be Stumbling Down History Road.
Stumbling LLC.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck do I name a Pornhub channel?
I'll be a voice actor from it.
It's based around old celebrity playboys in a silly YouTube channel name. What am I going to call? Like, people in the comments, please help me with this fucking idea here. And then we'll come up with like a top 4 eventually and do like a community poll. Like,
well, then you
And then
need to
you'll
actually
put that
be involved in the
in
community.
but Black Dot, like, I sell drugs to the community.
That's a great one.
Then I'm coming for you.
Look forward to our blaxploitation film episode.
Oh my god, we're gonna have one for that. Let's do it. Let's take one, maybe. Oh yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh yeah.
Look forward to our blaxploitation episode. Or Pat Bard.
I don't know if he wants to talk.
I'm not gonna.
Right?
I gotta cut that because I said his name.
Yeah. You'll figure.
Noel Jack.
Whatever the fuck. Whatever. Anyway, carry on.
Whatever you want to describe it as.
Blaxploitation episode. Anyway, but Black Dynamite. Okay. Anyway, back to
But Black Dynamite, I'll sell drugs to the community. Be
Sorry.
that as it may, if I catch you, you buy it.
Sarcastically, I'm in charge.
Fantastic films that came out in the 2000s. Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
Anyway,
you can tell that we are
Oh, have you seen the new one that they're coming out with? The Western version?
the Western blaxploitation film.
Yeah, they're doing another one with the same guy. This time he's playing like a priest.
Michael J. White.
Dude, I've been seeing trailers for it on fucking Facebook. Have you not seen them?
No,
Really?
I don't Facebook.
It's like the Outlaw something or another.
I don't Facebook much. I only really post our stuff.
I don't either.
Pol Pot.
Pol Pot.
Anyway,
He was a vicious man. He did a lot of bad.
Yep.
I don't think we can even say that he did anything good. At least
No,
with
not really.
At least with Stalin, we were able to say a little bit about like he did push the country forward.
Yeah.
It might have been at the cost of millions of people, tens of millions of people, but he did push the country forward.
Yeah. His industrialization efforts were there.
yeah, Outlaw Johnny Black.
He doesn't even have that though. Like he just set everybody back.
Yep.
And then fucked off because he lost. What a fucking loser.
Sorry, yeah.
What a chode. God damn.
What a fucking chotch.
Oh,
You
God.
remember that word?
Chach. I remember Julie loves Chach.
He doesn't remember that word. Oh, there's a word from our boat.
Oh. Oh.
We served together.
Yep. Yeah. It was a good time.
It was a time. Lore. Establish the canonity.
Oh, God.
We worked on Fate's Day / Sonic Multiverse.
Sonic Chew.
In our world exists on the disc on 4 elephants on a turtle.
Yes.
Yes. This is how our podcast works.
Yes, we operate on Discworld World, and then we use Fate Stay Night / Sonic / Tommy Weisfeld lore for Universe.
Oh.
Everything happens everywhere all at once.
You understood that reference?
Very vaguely. I mean, I got a bunch of D&D buddies who live 2 cities away, and we talk about stuff. So I have the layman's terms down.
Look forward to our future D&D episode.
And look forward to our Tommy Westville episode.
Look forward to. We're just gonna keep saying look forward to.
Yeah.
But honestly, in the comments, I want to know / I'm gonna put up a poll. Who our future Dictcember is gonna be?
We seriously gonna be doing? I thought
It's Dictcember.
All right. I could have sworn we were going to be doing Christmas movie franchises. But
Nope, decided it on the spot.
All right.
Dictcember.
I was really looking forward to that Hallmark one.
Dictcember.
What's up?
Dictcember. I like it. It'll work.
Dictcember.
All right. So
Where we talk just about dictators other than on our Christmas episode. Because we have to have a Christmas episode.
Yeah, of course.
It's going to be our January theme.
Yeah, if you guys want to help us suggest themes for future episodes, future months, go ahead. Please put that in the comments.
I mean, we had so far. I think we only actually done real 2 theme months. October was horror.
Horror.
I guess this month now.
Dictcember.
Is this going to premiere on December or no?
Yeah, right before it.
Whatever. It works.
Because I have to cut the last one for Christmas. So it's going to be starting a little early and ending a little early.
All right. Fuck it. Yeah.
Dictcember. Look forward to it.
And then
I just like saying Dictcember.
whatever. I mean,
Pol Pot. Piece of shit.
it is technically destroyed in December. For those who don't know,
If you may have participated in No Nut November,
the sequel month to that is Destroyed Dictcember, where you use everything that you. Basically, you have to.
everything you saved up, it's gone.
Basically, you have to do it that many times per the number for the day. So day 1 it's 1s, day 2 it's 2, and then you have to keep going up and onwards until you get to 31.
No.
It's a bad month for people.
No.
So Destroyed Dictcember, yes.
It's a bad month.
See, I can endorse Dictcember, but Cocktober is totally off the table.
No, it's not Cocktober. We already have Horrortober.
Yeah, okay.
Horrortober.
Spooky Ween.
Spookween. If anybody wants to have any sort of input, please put it in the comments. I'll put up a poll.
Anyway,
Pot.
eventually we'll try and get a poll going for what we're going to call the Born Up channel too, especially if we got to do it by Christmas.
That's only if we get 250 subscribers, which is a challenge to you.
By Christmas.
Hey, person on our episode, TJ, thanks for being a guest. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for having fun with us, even though we talked about some really, really bad shit.
Yeah, it was pretty dark, but hey, it was a good time.
And again, we did a Spark Notes version of it. If you want more, please check out the people that I said earlier. I'm not going to shout them out again. They get one shot.
Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one, unless you're actually like a friend of us. In which case, they get as many as they want until they start paying me, and then I have to charge.
In which case, they become technically sponsored.
Yeah.
Or we are still not sponsored.
Not sponsored. I have no idea where I'm going with this. But
This is a lot of things.
oh yeah. But as stated, thanks for coming on. We look forward to having you on more. I assume you want to be on more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Continue to light up my face. Be sure to show off that fancy new shirt that you got for being a guest.
Yeah,
if you are
absolutely.
interested in getting a fancy new shirt, we're doing a subscriber giveaway at 250 subscribers. That could be you, promo guy. Look at this fancy shirt. Look at it. Look at it.
I think it also comes in goldish.
It also comes in goldish.
Goldenrod.
Goldish. Not goldenrod. That's
Like almost
something.
like a Subaru Gold.
Subaru.
You know that.
But go ahead, get us up to the subscribers. That's your challenge, TJ. I want you to subscribe many people's.
I'll see what I can do.
Many persons.
Steal their phones.
Steal them.
Take the phone.
At some point, I'm gonna start doing Mr. Beast challenges. It's just plastic shit on fucking billboards. When he was trying to help out PewDiePie.
That'll work.
Why, you got billboard money?
Shut the fuck up. You don't know what I got. IRS, you know what I have. Please don't come after me.
Anyway. Anything to leave off on besides the Pornhub bullshit?
TJ, before we shut her down, do you have anything you want to say?
Oh, wait. Once again, sorry, real quick. Okay.
TJ,
Yeah.
go ahead. Say it.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a lot of fun.
Despite, again, the bad.
Yeah, no, the jokes were top tier, although the subject matter was a little bit. But yeah, it was a great time. Thank you so much, and I'd love to come back and do it again.
And,
All right.
Once again, Joe, top notch tinctures. This was permanent marker. It's pretty good shit. You got pretty decent nose build.
Nice.
Yeah.
Uh,
So definitely can handle it.
Good night, people.
Good night.
Later on.